Cody, when was the last time I had you here on the channel?
Dude, it's got to be over a year now.
Over a year. It is
Yeah.
good to have Mr. Cody Johnson back. How you been, buddy?
I've been pretty good, man. Appreciate you having me on.
No worries, no worries. Well, we are here because we have something to talk about, right? And it's something that a lot of the Houston Texans fans are already having a discussion, and that's number 10. Is he the guy or not? I feel like in the past two games, he had the best opportunity to show it, against two teams who no one chose you to win, and better play from Davis Mills, and you might be 2-0 right now.
Yeah, so my thoughts, I do agree. He was a little underwhelming. I think specifically in the Colts game, there was some moments that he showed promise, and we can touch on that a little bit later. And I'll wait to get really into the Broncos game until I get to all 22 tomorrow. But underwhelming for sure. The fourth quarter woes are not great. There's some problems with him throwing the left side of the field. I need to see a little bit more, I guess, specifically in that crunch time. Because those, like you said, we could be 2-0 if he clutches up. But it's not all on him. We'll get into that, I'm sure, in a little bit. But underwhelming is what I would say.
Yeah, and it's not just all on him. Pep Hamilton, besides the Jeff Driscoll runs, there's nothing really a difference between this offense this year and last year. We're kind of taking less shots down the field. That's something that I'm not understanding when Davis Mills was one of the best at throwing the balls last year. But now this year, he looks inaccurate. Nothing doesn't look good. And you have to look at the main guy who's coaching him, and that's Pep Hamilton right now.
Right. Yeah. And one thing I don't think teams are respecting the run, and that makes it hard to pass down the field. If you can't get a safety in the box or an extra defender in the box where you can test downfield, that's going to be a problem all season long. But that's also been a little bit underwhelming. Nothing too fancy, too special. There's some plays where Davis Mills has looked downfield, but there's just the receivers aren't either getting open, the blocking's not there, or he won't throw it. So it's a lot. A lot needs to be fixed, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, now speaking of some more people who haven't really, lived up to the hype, number 12, Nico Collins, was a no-show, in the Colts game. And then in this one against the Broncos, he was one of my X factors. We needed to see him going only four catches, 58 yards. But Nico is another one where it's like, haven't seen anything from him so far.
Yeah, he did a little bit better last game. He had some nice catches in the Colts game. I think he had three, but nothing too crazy. I also think the usage hasn't really been there for him. We're using him kind of funky, not giving him opportunities to go for jump balls and stuff, that's his forte, right? So there's been there, but also again, when we have given him those somewhat of opportunities, I guess we can say a lot of it has been to the left side of the field. Like I kind of mentioned, in Mills, just his throwing isn't there, man. He's airmailing these passes to the left side of the field, and he needs to get that under control to give these guys those chances, especially guys like Nico, to give those jump ball chances.
And what do you think is the cause of that? Because the throws that he was making last year, it's night and day. It's just not there right now for Davis Mills. The simple stuff is just, looking difficult for him. It kind of has us worried because he's not a first round, he's not a second round. Third rounds don't get many options nowadays. This is his chance, and his chance only to show that he is him.
Yeah, man, I don't know what it is. He obviously has the arm to get those balls there because he's airmailing them out of bounds, right? So if you don't have the arm, you're not going to make the pass there in general, right? So I don't know if it's, I'll kind of watch more tomorrow, like I said, when the all 22 comes out. But if it's footwork, if he's overcompensating, like he doesn't think he can make it there, and he's just chunking that ball, I'm not really sure, man. But it was evident in both games that left side of the field is tearing him up right now.
Yeah, and it's not just him, right? The offensive line looks good at times, but then absolutely just disappears. Last week it was Justin Bray with the miscommunications, the Lermy Tunsil, miscommunication where Mills gets rocked and forced fumbles. And this week it was kind of the same. A holding call from Lermy Tunsil, Titus Howard giving up on a play. Titus Howard himself hasn't really, he looks okay, but then he just gives up just stupid sacks like that, where it's like, dude wasn't even trying.
Yeah, man, that was tough. And that, you got to give credit to Mills because right before that play, specifically that Titus Howard play,
We were moving.
he's moving the ball, 2 first down completions, quick, back to back, and then he's going and he's about to throw the ball, and then Titus is staring at Randy Gregory, but he can't get out to even just push him past Mills. It was just that was a little frustrating to see. Titus needs to step it up. He has some moments in the Colts game where he's getting pushed back into Mills' feet, stuff like that. That doesn't help. So Titus definitely needs to step it up. Some miscommunications on the left side between Laramie and Kenyon Green, which Kenyon Green's a rookie, so to be expected. They're still getting that camaraderie. But yeah, the offensive line, like you were saying, man, there's been some moments of good stuff, but again, not up to par where we need it.
Yeah, no, and that just comes down to coaching. The only really bright spot on this team is number 31, and every time this dude gets the ball, it looks like he shot out a cannon. I feel like as the run game gets better, then this whole offense will get better just overall as a whole.
Yeah, I agree. He looked a lot better this game than last. He ran for, I believe it was 4.6 yards a carry this game.
Yes.
Some of the holes were there. Some he created from himself, and his contact balance is insane, man. He just runs through defenders and gets you extra yardage. So he's been good so far. Wish, like we're kind of saying, just the rest of the offensive line and getting him push up front. Getting him push up front, getting second level, making blocks so he doesn't have to quite do it as much as he's been doing it, especially this last game.
Yeah, and now, honestly, like, here's a question, Cody, because I kind of understand both parts. Should we be upset that that second year QB Davis Mills, did not have good games against two teams with very good defenses like the Colts and like the Broncos have? No one expected us to be in these games. So it was interesting that we were, and it hurts a little more knowing that, Mills didn't put the nail in the coffin, but are we putting a little too much pressure, because these are two very good teams that we just played?
Yeah, I think there's a right to be upset for sure, especially how the game ended and how he played in the fourth quarter of the Colts game in overtime, especially. And you have winnable games. Now, I do think there has been set too high of expectations set. The narrative nowadays is if you're not Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, you're just trash. And I just don't think that's the case. You go back and watch some of the Colts game, the second and third quarter specifically, he's going through reads. He's making nice passes. Both the touchdown passes to O.J. Howard were his second or third read, right? So he's not just – there are times where he's staring down receivers, don't get me wrong, but he is showing some progress in some of that stuff and going through reads and making good passes, stuff like that. Now, again, I do agree. You kind of said to be upset because you didn't finish out what you had started in that game and in this game. You had chances, you didn't quite take advantage of it. But, I still need more, for me, at least data points to see. I don't ever think he's going to be a Mahomes, a Josh Allen, like I was kind of mentioning earlier. But, I think he has a ceiling of Kirk Cousins, in which Kirk Cousins is not a bad quarterback, regardless of what some people think. Again, if you're not Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, apparently you're a bad quarterback, and that's just not the case. But we'll see how it goes. I need a few more games to really determine.
Yeah, no, I'm not out on Mills yet because he himself is still a young quarterback. Cody, he's only played damn near 14 games since high school and college, and I think that adds to that, right? This is a dude who honestly shouldn't even be on the Houston Texans. Number 4 should still be our quarterback, but this whole fiasco happened, and I'm excited to see more. What more do you need to see? Because honestly, I he had I think he's played okay. He's not turning the ball over, but he definitely hasn't wowed you to where you say this is definitely the guy. I think he's just there and just buying himself enough time, but how much longer do we say we need to see something from Davis Mills?
Yeah, for me, I got to see more that left side of the field. I'm going to harp on that. He's got to get those passes. If you could open up the whole field, it's just going to be easier on you to make passes, right? Or for wide receivers to get open, because if they don't respect that you can't throw to the left side of the field, they don't have to cover it as hard, right? So stuff like that. I need him to get more, keep continuing to go through reads, get a little bit less dependent on Cooks and stuff like that. Now, I will say, or I'll ask you, I guess, are we singing a different tune? Had Cooks caught that touchdown pass last week? Or on Sunday, I'm sorry. If, there's also that play, that wheel route to Rex Burkhead, which It was a good pass by Mills. It was to the outside, away from the defender, but you're not going to expect the running back to make that adjustment to catch that ball. If it had been a wide receiver, that's probably also another touchdown, right? There's some plays that are there. You can see some of the stuff, and you saw it in the Colts game, and I have a video up on that on the lead channel, so if y'all want to take a look at that. But there's some stuff there. It's just got to be more consistent with it.
Yeah, no, I think if Brandon Cooks catches that touchdown, we might, are singing a different tune. I'm here telling you, I'm looking forward to the game against the Chicago Bears because that's a game where I expect the Houston Texans to win, and kind of have the advantage on both sides of the ball. Also on that wheel ride with Burkhead, Kenyon Green just let the guy through and he was right in Davis Mills's face.
Right.
So there are plays where you look at Davis Mills and you say, damn, he looks good. I mean, going back to your point against the Colts, the first 3 quarters, you're thinking this is a different quarterback from last year, and this can potentially be my starting guy. And then the fourth quarter happened. It's he's giving me 1.5, I'm sorry, like half a game of good football, 3 quarters, but it's weird because we haven't there's nothing he's done to rule him out yet. Nothing he's done.
Yeah, like you were kind of mentioning earlier, no turnovers, and I haven't seen a lot of instances where he's putting it in position to be really turned over. There was one play against the Colts, but I think it was a miscommunication between him and Cooks. I think he was expecting a sit route, but Cooks ran out and almost threw an interception. But other than that, he hasn't been putting it up where defenders can get easy interception, stuff like that. So that's stuff I like to see, especially on the road, because his road splits have been horrible from his rookie year. He threw like 7 of his 8 or whatever it was interceptions on the road. So there's stuff like that, but again, got to see more. Also putting it, I guess his accuracy hasn't been great through these first 2 games, so getting your wide receivers more chances to catch the ball as well. So there's more to be seen there. I don't want to declare anything yet, but there's more to be seen for sure.
I absolutely agree, Cody. It's been a year since we've been together, but the chemistry is still there. Let the fans know what you got going on, my guy.
Yeah, so my plan is to do video breakdown of this different player each week. Believe next week or after. I'm sorry, this week I'm going to be doing one on Stingley versus the Broncos, and then a different player the next week for Chicago. But I'm doing that on the lead on YouTube, capital T L no space the lead, and then Twitter at FB__ Lone Star. Give me a follow if y'all like the content, and yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, absolutely. Cody, it was a pleasure. Feel free to doing this. Hopefully next week, and hopefully it's a better Davis Mills looked good, right? Because honestly, this is a game where the Bears could win. You guys let me know. You follow Cody, you follow Hardy, you follow the lead. If you guys have been watching the 713 Houston Sportscast, then these guys have been with me since damn near the very fucking beginning. so shout out to you guys.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on, man.